3 more Chinese packages arrived to me, and now I'm going to unbox these boxes to see what I have got inside. Let's start with this small one. Okay, so this is supposed to be Machinist Mini ATX X99 motherboard, but I'm not sure which one. Inside the box we have got another box, so Machinist is stepping up with the packaging. Before they would just put motherboard like that, but now we have a box inside the box. And inside this box we have a standard SATA cable, standard I/O shield, useless warranty information or purchase information, and the motherboard itself. Here we have this annoying warranty seal, and this sticker is rather sticky, so it destroys the anti-static bag if I try to remove it. That's why I'm going to just cut it off, like that. So this is Machinist X99-PR9 motherboard. I have not yet tested this motherboard, but it looks pretty pathetic because the VRM heatsink is tiny and it has about 6 phases, but I'm not sure what kind of MOSFETs are used here. I do not have any hopes and no expectations for this motherboard, but because of the very high demand and people are constantly asking me about this motherboard, I decided to buy one, test it, and add support to Mi 899. Overall, the motherboard is the bare minimum what you can expect from the motherboard, but supposedly we have quad-channel memory configuration, of course Xeon E5, V3, V4 CPU supported, one PCI Express X16 slot, one PCI Express X1 slot, M.2 slot, which is supposedly working with both M.2 NVMe and M.2 SATA drives, and here are jumpers to flip the configuration. Then we also have 3 SATA ports and USB 3.0 for the front panel, USB 2.0 for the front panel, front audio, and the connectors for buttons LEDs on the front panel of your chassis. This location is rather inconvenient, but I guess it's okay. For the power, we have 8-pin CPU power here and 24-pin motherboard power over here. What's interesting is that over here we have additional connector, which is supposedly for connecting a VRM fan, and I believe it is not regulated, it is just static 3, 5 or 12 volts. I'm not sure how much voltage we get there. For the rear side I/O, we have a very standard configuration for the desktop chipset X99 motherboards. We have 2 PS2 ports, 6 USB 2 ports, 2 USB 3 ports, Ethernet, and basic audio output. So if you're interested to see full detailed review of this motherboard, subscribe to my main channel and stay tuned. Okay, another box, this time a bit bigger one. This one is also a Machinist X99 motherboard, but I have ordered a couple, so let's open it and see what I have got inside. Just like with the Mini ITX version, the full ITX motherboard is packed with 2 boxes, which is rather nice and pretty safe. Here we have very similar stuff, starting with this SATA cable. Then this one is a small VRM fan. I don't know why it is there. Probably Chinese know that the VRM fans they are selling and installing on these motherboards die very quickly and you need a replacement rather soon. So let's get this factory seal cut open, and then I can take out the motherboard and see what I have got. Okay, here we have Machinist E5-MR9A Pro. As far as I know, it's exactly the same motherboard as Machinist X99-MR9A that I have already tested, but it has got a couple of upgrades. First of all, we have this integrated plastic I/O shield, and then we have got VRM heatsink with an extra fan. So probably because this fan is pretty crappy, we have got a fan replacement straight away. Regarding the specification, the motherboard did not change from the original MR9A. We still have support for Xeon E5, V3, V4 CPUs and i7 CPUs. We still have quad-channel DDR4 memory. We still have 2 X16 PCI Express slots, one X4, one X1. From the fan headers, we have one 4-pin over here, one 3-pin over here, one 4-pin over here, and one 3-pin over here. I'm not sure how many of these headers support smartphone, but I would guess only one, this from the CPU. Additionally, we have two M.2 slots. One supports PCI Express NVMe SSDs, this one supports SATA M.2 SSDs. Then we have an M.2 slot for Wi-Fi cards, and I have no clue why they put the M.2 slot for Wi-Fi right under the NVMe SSD, but it is what it is. For the SATA we have 2 SATA 2 ports and 4 SATA 3 ports. The BIOS chip is located over here, power 24 pin here, 8 pin over here. At the bottom of the motherboard we have the standard I/O connectors, USB 3, 2 USB 2 headers, COM port, audio exit, and the buttons and LEDs. For the rear I/O we have the standard configuration for X99 motherboards with a desktop chipset, 2 PS2 ports, 2 USB 3 ports, 6 USB 2 ports, Ethernet, and basic audio output. I suspect that this motherboard is exactly the same as Machinist X99-MR9A that I have already tested, but if you want to see detailed test results, then subscribe to my main channel, a review will be available there. And finally, let's open the last package. Surprise, surprise, this is yet another Machinist X99 motherboard, but I don't remember which exactly this one is. Okay, so this one is the original Machinist X99-MR9A that I have already tested, and I just bought it to verify that the quality is still on the level and that the motherboard is still compatible with the original BIOS, and I still can recommend it as the best budget X99 motherboard from China. If I compare these two boards side by side, we can see that they are pretty much identical, even the location of these capacitors or resistors is identical. Everything at the bottom is also identical, speaker and these capacitors and the chipset heatsink, everything is identical. So this is indeed the same motherboard. The only difference is the VRM heatsink, and I'm not yet sure which one is better, because this one has less metal and it comes with this annoying small tiny fan that rotates at constant speed. Then the standard Machinist X99-MR9A lacks the M.2 Wi-Fi slot that is available at the Pro version. And of course, the Pro version comes with a built-in plastic I/O shield, while the original MR9A comes with a standard metal I/O shield that you need to install yourself. Honestly, I would prefer this configuration because no matter how you turn it, plastic is not electrically conductive, and if you have some static electricity and you poke the I/O with your fingers, this I/O shield will help with that, the plastic one will not help. Another major difference between these two motherboards are of course the memory clips. If you badly want the black clips that are matching color of the memory slots, then you need the Pro version. But if you're fine with this poisonous green color, then the non-Pro version will be just fine. Of course, I'm being sarcastic, these memory clips are playing no role in the motherboard's performance. I will test both of the motherboards with a different BIOS configuration and will add support to Mi 899 application. So if you're interested to see which BIOS is compatible with what motherboard and which of the motherboards are better buy, then stay tuned, subscribe to my main channel, a review will be available there.